Hey folks, with 1.2 launch less than 12 hours away, thought I would put together this leveling slash progression guide on the Giga Stacker brand Runemaster build whatever thing. So yeah, if you do like this sort of video, please consider leaving a like on the video. And yeah, let's jump into it. So the first thing before I start, I really want to give a massive disclaimer. I am not on CT. This is a completely untested build. I have no way of knowing if it will be good. It looks good on paper, but I want to give a huge warning just in case that this is probably not a beginner-friendly build. Anyway, I have been doing some progression testing for leveling. I've also put together some planners step by step and a couple filters as well. Personally, if I were you, I would recommend following one of the max roll leveling guides. I think that this is going to be much more fleshed out. Tarek is an expert at leveling. Anything that he puts in these guides is probably going to be better than what I'm doing. Just saying, as far as leveling goes, this is your guy. So there's two Mage leveling guides that I'll recommend. The first one here is Shatter Strike. This is one of the better leveling specs for 1.2. With this, you'll have to do a mastery respec around probably level 60 or 70, I think would be ideal, into Runemaster. And it might feel a little bit awkward because a lot of the affixes are quite different, so just keep that in mind. But this is going to be a pretty good leveling spec if you're comfortable with a mastery respec, swapping builds, mid-progression. This is a good option. Another good option is a archived build. So these will both be in the description of this video, but leveling with Glacier is also very solid. And finally, I will go over what I personally leveled with in my testing sessions and what I plan to do in 1.2. So I did just do a stream. So you can see here, this is the VOD, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. Don't mind the quality here of the Twitch VOD. Let's see, can I 1080p it? We can. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like, this is roughly 3 hours into the life of this character. I'm level 56. We are in the Void Bird timeline. I forget what it's called, but so yeah, we're actually zooming pretty well. You can see when the brand goes, everything kind of just dies. We have our shock scaling online. So here's just a clip of me. I'm leveling with Plasma Orb, so fire, lightning, fire, just so that I can apply the brand of deception onto as many enemies as possible in an AoE. This is before I switch into the strength stack, so that's with the Covenant Arc that I want to use for now. Plasma Orb just has really great coverage. You can see the AoE is actually really good. The single target's not terrible, but overall this setup does feel pretty decent, and it works really well until you're able to switch into the Mana Guide focus setup fully. So moving into how I leveled personally, these planners will be all available in the description. So the first planner is going to be your beginning bit. So you can see here we just have 3 skills spec'd. So you're going to level as normal until you get Glacier. You start using Glacier. I actually went with the lesser Glacier. This is kind of debatable. If you're comfortable with the large Glacier, I would suggest just doing that. It's probably going to be faster overall. But if you're not super familiar with Mage leveling or you just want to have an easier time, probably take this lesser Glacier. It makes mana sustain very, very easy. Then I take Lightning Blast. This is probably not actually necessary, but the main reason why I'm using Lightning Blast in the leveling is because we have Mana Burst. So this actually gives a pretty decent chunk of mana combined with the less mana cost on Glacier with that node. Lightning Blast is actually enough to sustain, so you don't need to Mana Strike at all. And even for ranged enemies, normally you have to walk up to them and Mana Strike unless you have the ranged Mana Strike. This allows you to sustain your mana very, very comfortably. So this is what you'll do up until probably around level 25. So you can see here, you start speccing into Flame Rush. So Flame Rush is how you proc the Runic Invocation. This is going to take probably around 85-ish mana just to be able to cast your Plasma Orb, but once you get this online, it will be completely automated. So moving over to the next planner, this is once you swap out your Glacier for Runic Invocation. So you can see still 3 skills. We dropped Glacier, grabbed Runic. So the progression you can see here, you'll immediately go for Immutable. So you want fire, lightning, fire in your skill bar in that order. It's very important. And then you go start grabbing some damage, damage per rune consumed, continue on, damage per type of rune, LE pen per int, which gets transferred onto the brand eventually. So all this stuff is quite good. But yeah, this is as you progress towards the brand of deception application and the shock scaling. So these are the nodes that really make the build come together. Then we have the third planner here. So this is as you start to transition towards more late game, still not fully set up here. You can see we have the Vilatria set item itself, not the Reforged. So the Reforged, you're going to want a T7 because otherwise your shock chance scaling is kind of bad. With the set item itself, you always get 1% shock chance. So early on for damage, this is going to be huge, really powerful because you're still going to have int at this point in the game. So you can see here we have T6 int across the board. Until you fully switch into Cleaver, you are going to want the int affix and not the strength one. So at this point in the game, you'll have, you'll be around level 50, you have your focus. If you don't have Mana Guide, that's fine, you don't actually need it. You can just zoom around with Flame Rush, proccing the Runic Invocation. That's totally fine too, as you saw in my gameplay footage from earlier. So Mana Guide is not necessary to get started at all. You can even go for a 15 mana cost Lightning Blast and just direct cast to apply brands because you have the damage multi here. The brands will actually do quite a bit of damage just through doing that. But anyway, I think this is roughly how your gear will look when you transition. You can see we have a scepter here with shock. This scepter is really good. It has DOT right on it. We don't care about flat spell at all. So this is good. If you have minus mana on your weapon, you won't be able to apply brand with the Lightning Blast itself. So just keep that in mind. You need to be mindful of your mana cost here. Next, we have the fourth step here. So this is once you have Cleaver and Bastion. It's not necessary here, but it goes really well with the setup, so it would be nice to have. But mainly, this is just transition into Cleaver. Now, instead of getting int on your gear, you're getting strength. So that's very important. All of your int affixes do absolutely nothing once you get Cleaver. So any int on your gear, your passives, anything, it does literally nothing. So at the point you get Cleaver Solution, you'll want to remove all of your int from the passive tree and replace it with other useful stuff. So just keep an eye on this passive tree. So you can see here, the int, we're just taking minimum nodes here. They don't really provide much value. Cooldown, I don't even know if this is necessary. You're getting not a whole lot of value here until you're pretty late game. But in general, the int is not super high value. You can see here the skills are pretty much the same. We have Flame Ward, Runic, Flame Rush, Lightning Blast, Focus. There is some amount of flexibility, so for Focus, if you have a lot of cooldown, you don't need this node, but if you're doing the Mana Guide thing, this will help quite a bit because your base cooldown will be 4 seconds. With this, it's 0, so once you stop casting, if you have no cooldown, you can start casting again right away. You will want the mana regen though if you have the no initial mana burst, so that will help a lot. Next we have the final step. So this is the end game setup. This is roughly what you'll look like. I did tone it down a little bit as far as the gearing, but this is still what you're going to want to work towards. So the shock chance of idols, this is huge for your progression. The Mana Guide, obviously, Cleaver, Fundamental Criterion, Bastion, these are some pretty important items. This here, Shattered Worlds, I don't even know if it's necessarily the best. This is for speed. You have perma haste. If you can get haste somewhere else, this is probably not necessary. +1 level of skills is nice, but the Twisted Heart is also fine here because you get up to 16 strength on the heart itself. So Shattered Worlds is kind of like a quality of life pick. It's not necessarily the best pick, but yeah, if you can manage to get one, this is fine. It also has DR, so that's great. These are also kind of a flex pick. Just a regular Exalted, especially with this base, Eternal Gauntlets is really good. Strength is really good. There's a few other options here, but in general, you just want strength and you want defense on your gloves. There's some other good affixes that you could get there, but that is the main thing. Anyway, moving on. So I have also included in the description, there are 2 filters. So I have the leveling filter. If you go with my leveling setup, the planners that I have here, this is the filter that you'll want to use. I tested this out while leveling. It's pretty good. There will be some stuff probably missing here for 1.2, but it should be pretty much what you want for leveling. This one here, this is the late game setup. This one I just built custom right now in 1.2. So this should be all ready to go for 1.2. There should be champion affixes. There should be the Weaver idle affixes, all the new affixes on your gear. Everything should be in this filter, good to go. You'll want to play around with it a bit just to get comfortable, see what's being shown. There's also this hiding wand, scepters, and catalyst. So once you switch into the Cleaver Solution shield, you'll want to enable this so that you don't have all of those crappy bases being shown. So there you go. But otherwise, this filter is a little bit strict, but not too crazy. You still have a lot of just generic exalts. You also have multi-exalt bases that you'll want. We have T7 of any attribute on the chest because you'll want this for the attribute swapping. So that's important. I have a bunch of LP filters here. Vilatria specifically, we filter idle shock is super high priority, so I highlighted it. But yeah, otherwise this is pretty standard filter stuff. Feel free to play around. I also show all exalts early on, and then after level 55, they will be hidden unless they show up in these filters here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have for today. I hope this is helpful, and as always, you can tune into my Twitch. I'll be streaming once we go live. I'll be playing through, trying to figure out this build, do some more theory crafting, and I will try to do my best to provide you with more updates as we go along. Anyway, as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.